Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a really nice anvil stand for the Vevor 66 lb London Pattern Anvil. I really like this style anvil. I'm very excited about this project. But if you're going to build an anvil stand for an 85 lb anvil or bigger, I would go with 4 4x4s in each row instead of 3 4x4s in each row. Alright, so let's get started. I'm gonna start by cutting all the boards I need. I like to use a miter saw because I know I'm gonna get straight, even cuts. I'm using 4x4s, but you could use whatever size you want. I use wood glue to glue all the boards together, and then I'll use these 3-inch construction screws to secure each board to each other. I want to make sure everything is as dense as possible and as few voids as possible. So I start with the 3 boards that I want to be the front of the anvil stand. Then I'll glue and clamp these 3 boards together. I make sure to glue all the surfaces that will be clamped together. I just use 3 clamps for this part, 1 in the middle and 1 on each side. So now that I have the first row clamped up, I'm going to screw it all together. I like to run 5 screws down each board, 1 in the middle, 1 on either side, and then split the difference and put 1 between each of those. Here's what the screw pattern looks like. I make sure I screw each board to each other. Now I can remove the clamps and move on. I mixed up some wood glue and sawdust to make a putty and then filled in that void right there where the corner was missing out of that one 4x4. Once I have the first row of 3 done, I'll add 1 board at a time. That way I can screw each board to the existing boards from the inside. Now on the outside, where it's going to show in the end, I mark where the bands are going to go. That way I can make sure that the screws are going to be hidden behind the bands. I didn't have enough length to make all the boards, so I just used 2 cutoff pieces to make 1 board and made sure it was in the center. That way you can't see it from any of the sides. Once I have the boards glued and clamped in place, I'll screw it in from both sides. And then I continue to just glue, clamp, and screw each board 1 at a time. Making sure whatever surface is going to show in the end, I always put the screws behind where the bands are going to be. Finally, here I put the last board in and my camera died. All I did was put the screws in that last corner board about 2 1/4 inch down, right where the bands are going to be. Alright, so now that everything is glued together and screwed together nice and tight, I'm going to let it dry while I go work on the bands. So here I have 1/8 inch by 1 inch bar stock that I'm going to use for the bands. I don't like the color of the metal, so I decided to put it in the forge. That way I can heat it up and apply some beeswax to it to darken the metal. But I figured since I'm doing this, I may as well go the extra mile and add in the texture. So I used the ball peen hammer and add in the texture all along both bands. So here I'll use the beeswax and orange oil to protect the metal from rust, and it also darkens the color. So this is a before and after example of what the bands look like. I feel like it was 100% worth the extra time and energy to put the texture in. It's totally worth it to me. Alright, so now that the glue's dried on the outside at least, I'm going to start sanding down the surfaces with the angle grinder. I start with a 36 grit flap disc, and then I sand the surface until it's flat and smooth, and remove all the surface debris and get down to a fresh coat of wood. I put in a little 45-degree bevel along the sides here, and then later I'll round it over with the palm sander. I put a 45-degree bevel along the sides as well. That way when I go to wrap the bands around the stand, it'll bend around those corners real nice. So once I have everything as far as I can get it with the 36 grit flap disc, I'll switch to an 80 grit sandpaper on the palm sander and finish it out. I use the palm sander to round over all the corners because if I use the angle grinder, I would end up cutting way too deep. I got everything sanded down to a 220 grit on the palm sander. I use boiled linseed oil to cover the surface and then work it into the grain as deep as possible. And now I'm going to move on to the bands. Once I get the bands installed, I'll do another coat of the boiled linseed oil. So here I'm going to use my little bending jig that I made. Basically it's just two 3/8 pins and a 3/8 drive socket, the radius of the bend that I want to make. That way it'll match the anvil stand nicely with no gaps. To keep my jig from separating, I put in this big crescent wrench. So I'll bend the first corner over in the jig, and then I'll clamp it in place and then mark and drill 3/8 holes for the bolts. I use 3/8 by 1.5 inch bolts. I put one bolt in the center of each 4x4. It measures about 1 3/4 inch from the edge. Rather than use the jig to put in all the bends, I found it much easier to just push over by hand and use the rubber mallet. And then I'll clamp it in place, drill the holes, and then put the bolts in. It actually works out better this way, because then you don't have to worry about measuring, being off a little bit, and having gaps. And then I just use my angle grinder to cut off the extra material. Alright, so now that the anvil stand is done, I could go mount the anvil. But before I do that, I want to add this badge with my logo on it. If you would like to see how I etch graphics on metal, check the link in the description. I use these small nails and I rounded over the heads on the belt sander. That way when I put one in each hole, they look like rivets. Alright, so now that the anvil stand is finished, I'm going to add one more coat of the boiled linseed oil before I mount the anvil to it. So before I mount the anvil, I want to do a ring test. I'm going to use some angle iron to make brackets to mount this. First, I'm going to cut one side shorter, that way it'll sit at an angle. That way the top will sit flat across the base of the anvil and distribute the pressure equally. So when I bolt this down to the stand, it should pull down equally across the whole base of the anvil. I'm going to use 3 3/8 by 4 inch bolts on each side, but first I need to drill the holes in the brackets. Alright, so now that the brackets are done, I'm going to drill some pilot holes, that way I don't split the wood. I use the brackets as a guide, that way I know I'm drilling the pilot holes at the right angle. So now that I got all the pilot holes finished, and one side started, I used the silicone and fill up a generous amount right where the anvil's gonna sit. The silicone is gonna eliminate a lot of that ringing that you get from the anvil and quiet it down quite a bit. You can see right here that the bracket is bent around the base of the anvil and is pulling down equally across the whole base. And now I'll just clean up the extra silicone and wait for it to dry, and it should dry clear so there won't be that white line. This anvil is brand new, so it has some really sharp edges on the face. So I just wanted to take some time and clean it all up with a flap disc and give the edges a nice radius. This will help prevent chipping on the edges of the anvil. And I also make sure to clean up the pritchett hole and the hardy hole for the same reasons. These edges are pretty rough from the casting. I don't want there to be a stress point and end up cracking the heel when I'm trying to use the pritchett hole or the hardy hole. So I did the same thing with the hardy hole too, just to try to prevent cracks. So here's how it sounds after the silicone. The silicone really does a good job of quieting it down. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in one of these anvils, I do have a link in the description. If you do use my link in the description to order one of these anvils from Vevor, I'll get a small commission. Thanks again for watching, especially to the end. I really do appreciate it. And if you do like the video, please click the like button and share. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And if you have a comment or question, please leave a comment and I'll definitely get back to you. I read all my comments, so if you do have a question, I'll definitely get back to you.